Story 1. Half-Life is the best game ever because it redefines storytelling in shooters. No cutscenes, no loading screens breaking immersion. The world unfolded around you while you played. The artificial intelligence was smart, the level design was seamless, and the atmosphere was gripping. It was not just a game, it was a shift in what games could be. It also birthed modifications like Counter-Strike and helped shape modern first-person shooter design. Its legacy is still felt today. Story 2. Tetris is essentially the Go of video games. Despite its simplicity, it is the best puzzle game ever made. Story 3. Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It is well-rounded and suitable for a broad audience. It features peak two-dimensional pixel art graphics and remains quite challenging in some levels. Story 4. I would vote for Portal 2. It is a fun puzzle game that makes you think, and you will laugh out loud at the dialogue from GLaDOS, Wheatley, and Cave Johnson. Story 5. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. I have played it repeatedly using every combination of character classes and weapon specializations I could imagine. Story 6. World of Warcraft is often underrated as the best video game of all time, but it is genuinely the best value, most unique and easiest game to create lasting memories for me. Meeting new people through guilds, parties, and in the world, experiencing a rich, complex environment with an encyclopedia of characters, an incredible soundtrack, and various gameplay modes to suit multiple play styles. Baldur's Gate 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are also in my top 3. Story 7. Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Best strategy game of all time. Very deep mechanics, best music, best art, best design, infinitely replayable. Story 8. A few games come to mind. Outer Wilds is my personal number 1, and it made me cry and gave me a newfound appreciation for life and living in the moment. Stopping to smell the pine trees along the way. Amazing music that you will catch yourself whistling. Nier Automata subverts your expectations of what you think the game will be like in under an hour. Then it does it again a third time and a fourth time. Suddenly, you're listening to the soundtrack 50 times a day. An incredible tale of what it means to be human. Hollow Knight. The art, music, combat, and exploration are masterfully done for a first-game indie studio. They released 2 free downloadable content packs with enough content to be their own games. Hundreds of hours of content that never stop being fun, are highly replayable, and all for about £15. We did not deserve that game. Chrono Trigger. No explanation needed. A timeless classic. Story 9. Command and Conquer literally defined real-time strategy and had absolute classics like Tiberian Sun, Red Alert 2, and Generals. Story 10. The Witcher 3 is high on my list. Outer Wilds. Doom, original and 2016 version. Rayman Legends for platforming fun. Tetris and variants. For some reason, the virtual reality version is insanely good. It does not make sense, but it is a fact. There are so many possible answers. Story 11. Baldur's Gate 3. The level of craft that has gone into it is staggering. It is what I imagine video games would be when I was a child playing Baldur's Gate 1. It is like the promise of what video games can be has finally been delivered on. Story 12. Dota 2. Nothing compares to a good, balanced game of Dota, with no one griefing and everyone trying and communicating positively. The problem is those games do not always happen, and you have to wade through some difficulties in between. But when they do, there is nothing that compares. Story 13. Call of Duty 4. It laid the foundation for the entire Call of Duty series. Kill streaks, perks, sprinting, weapon attachments, gun camouflage. It was the first in the series to introduce those features, and it had the perfect balance. In stark contrast to the spawn trapping and killstreak chaos of everything following Call of Duty, World at War, which is also a great game for the foundational zombies content. People will overwhelmingly say Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 was better, but I believe Call of Duty 4 was superior for many reasons. The impact of its groundbreaking content cannot be overstated. Story 14. Kingdom Hearts 1. I know most grew up with or prefer Kingdom Hearts 2, but Kingdom Hearts 1 was truly something special for its time of release. It gave off a vibe that is not often seen in the later installments. Story 15. There is no best video game of all time because everyone has different tastes. The only valid question is, what is your favorite video game of all time? Story 16. Nothing beats Outer Wilds for me. It is the only game that ever transformed from a game into an absolute art masterpiece in my mind. Story 17. The original Deus Ex. So many little things to find. This was before achievements or trophies, or developers being afraid of spending time on something people would never see. You could approach any level in about a dozen different ways, and you could even kill major characters early, and the story would continue. It's one of those games where the more you apply yourself and experiment, the more you find. To this day, I haven't come across a role-playing game with as much depth in the actual role-playing besides maybe Baldur's Gate 3 or Disco Elysium. Story 18. Minecraft is the original classic. If it is too boring for you, there are many modifications available for whatever you want. Story 19. World of Warcraft has been going for over 20 years and I just got wrapped up in it again. Some absolute bangers on the list, particular nod to Chrono Trigger. However, World of Warcraft is insane. I can't fathom the hours played nor the total expense at $15 per month off and on for 20 years. Feels like a great value exchange. It's not absurdly expensive for new content. The leveling experience in Classic is amazing. It's refreshing to have it easier in retail, although I have basically fallen off retail entirely. Hardcore was a great mix, and Season of Doom was fun to mess around with. They have done an incredible job keeping it relevant and fun. Let the downvotes reign. Story 20. Man, it is so hard to say just one because there are different genres, but here are the best ones for these genres in my opinion. Fighting Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Multiplayer Online Battle Arena Defense of the Ancients 2. Role-playing game Chrono Trigger. Action role-playing game Diablo 2. Massively multiplayer online Final Fantasy XI. Shooter Counter-Strike. Real-time strategy StarCraft. Story 21. For me, it's a debate between Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. From Software is the best. Story 22. Final Fantasy VII defined what an epic role-playing game can be with modern graphics and a compelling story. Story 23. Minecraft started as an amazing sandbox game and has grown to have the best modding community in all of gaming. It is essentially a game that the entire community has built at this point. Story 24. Rocket League is my personal favorite by far. Objectively, these are my main contenders for a publication list. Portal 2, Super Mario Bros., World of Warcraft, Skyrim, League of Legends. Hot take. Games like Tetris, Pac-Man, Galaga, Street Fighter, and others are the most influential but served as stepping stones to true masterpieces. Story 25. Ace Combat 6, Fires of Liberation. You experience an immaculate drama within an action movie about a devastated continent after a deep impact. Everyone should play it, if not for the story, then for the soundtrack. Story 26. What a difficult question. There are many special moments, but I do not think anything compares to the first time playing Pokemon Red or Blue with your friends in 5th grade. There was something unique about discovering them all, figuring out how everything worked, evolutions, trading and battling with the link cable, and learning about rumors like Missingno and the rare candy glitch. Nothing else was like it at the time. Story 27. To be honest, I have always thought the answer to this question is subjective. Reading these comments seems to confirm what I have always suspected. In my case, my answer would be Minecraft. Out of all the games I have played, I always seem to find myself going back to Minecraft. It is one of the most popular games of all time. Takes the cake for me. Story 28. Pong. Edit: who downvoted me for saying Pong? Pong was the original and greatest game of all time. You are a fool for downvoting. Story 29. I think it highly depends on what genre you like. For me, it is Super Mario Land. It is the definition of a game that is easy to pick up but hard to master. Story 30. Stardew Valley. I cannot believe I am the first to mention it, at least from what I could find. It embodies much of what makes gaming great and does so without fancy graphics or a AAA budget. It is the purest soul of gaming. Story 31. Really old guys take. Space Invaders. Before Pac-Man, before Galaga, even before Asteroids, it was the coolest game in the early arcades in the late 1970s. Different from all others, it was easy to learn yet hard to master. Story 32. It's not recency bias to say Claire Obscure Expeditions 33. The game is truly art with a capital A. Visuals, performances, story, sound and soundtrack, and gameplay are all stellar. It's the complete package in a $49.99 box, which is incredible. It's the most compelling narrative I've played in a long time that hooks you in the first 30 minutes and constantly evolves throughout the entire adventure. The combat was something I wasn't sure I would like but ended up loving. The gear, stats, and other systems are not overly complicated. The art design is absolutely amazing. Truly a wonder of the decade. Story 33. Most people may argue with bias, but when it comes to numbers, World of Warcraft surpasses everything, and it is not even close. That game is more than just a game. People have played it hardcore for over half their lives, paying $15 a month the entire time. Story 34. There is no question. We have known for nearly 30 years that GoldenEye 64 is the best of all time. Only casual players and beginners do not know this. Stop multiplying. Story 35. Tennis for Two. The game that started it all. Who knows where we would be without its inspiration to create interactive media for entertainment. Story 36. EverQuest, I think, just edges World of Warcraft for its true open-world experience, where it felt a little less like there was a solution to everything, which led to more creative problem-solving. Story 37. Warcraft 3. The competitive scene is still alive and thriving. The custom map editor was so good it spawned the multiplayer online battle arena genre. The lore was so compelling it continued into the most successful massively multiplayer online game of all time. Story 38. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Huge jump into the three-dimensional aspect of gaming in what can be considered one of the first non-linear open-world games ever. A lot of people's first introduction to the franchise, with just enough quirks to keep them coming back. Honestly, it's probably between that and Super Mario 64 for almost the same reasons. Nintendo was releasing outstanding games consistently back then. Many games from that era still hold up today, and some retain monetary value despite being 30 years old. Story 39. I can't even rate the best game I have ever played, but some games near the top for me personally are The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rivals of Aether 2, currently in love with this game, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Age of Empires 4. These are games that I have either sunk a lot of time into and enjoyed immensely, or that I can find very little fault in, or aspects I wish were changed. I think if The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and The Witcher 3 had a baby, and it allowed for some multiplayer as well, that would have a good shot at being my favorite game ever. Story 40. I have been playing personal computer games for the past 8 months. My favorite is Sifu. The gameplay is fun and challenging, and the graphics are beautiful. Story 41. Grand Theft Auto 5 is up there. I'm surprised I haven't seen someone comment on it. It has an amazing story and a multiplayer mode that pushed what was capable at the time. The servers were broken for the first week because of all the people playing. Story 42. In terms of the video game that I had the most memorable moments in, I would say SOCOM 3 and SOCOM, US Navy SEALs Confrontation. That was the height of my online gaming fun. Story 43. It depends on the category. Older games tend to be favored more because of nostalgia, and they inspire newer games. I would say Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best video game overall. Story 44. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 have gorgeous music and visuals. Just beautiful. Honorable mentions to Civilization 4 for its music and Plants vs. Zombies because it is cute. Story 45. I want to say Final Fantasy IX for nostalgia, but the correct answer is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now I'm speaking from a pure video game 1990s experience with story, gameplay, character development, and music. If you are in your early 20s and think Red Dead Redemption 2 is boring and slow, that's fine. But for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the peak of video gaming. Online gaming relies too much on other people, so it will never be real gaming in my mind. Edit. Actually, someone mentioned Tetris, and that might be the best answer. Story 46. It depends on your criteria. For me, it's Doom or Wolfenstein. If it were not for those games, literally no first-person shooter games would exist. Story 47. How are so many people so blinded by nostalgia that they cannot even recognize it? The Tetris comment is probably accurate. Story 48. Art is subjective and video games are art, so you will probably get as many different answers as there are different games. That being said, my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII and has been since 1997. Story 49. Minecraft has broad appeal, and you can create many other games within it. Roblox targets children and has poorer monetization. Story 50. Super Mario Odyssey is a good game for anyone who knows how to use a joystick and 2 buttons. It is still fun if you are really good at games because of the enjoyable gameplay and high skill cap controls. You can easily impose challenges on yourself. Story 51. Minecraft offers countless opportunities and niche areas. There are many player versus player servers and game modes. The building community, farming community, and technical redstone enthusiasts engage in activities ranging from iron farms to large world eater flying machines. Computational redstone includes building computers and games within Minecraft. Gameplay options include normal survival, hardcore mode, speedrunning, and roleplay. This is just vanilla Minecraft. Additionally, there are mods and data packs available. In theory, if Minecraft existed only as a video game, many people would be pleased. It is a game for both kids and adults. It is for everyone. Story 52. That's a very personal question, and it really depends on the person. It could be World of Warcraft, it could be Elden Ring, for some it is Quake, it might be some real-time strategy game. For me, it is either Max Payne or Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. But if you take nostalgia out of the equation, then it is probably Elden Ring. Story 53. Terra Online. This game forever changed my life, and I miss it terribly. I pray it will come back in the future so my children can experience the joy I experienced when playing it. My husband built us custom PCs to play it, and we had such close friendships with our guildmates we literally traveled across states to meet up for meals together. Nothing will ever come close to the bonds we formed and the speed of my fingers on a keyboard while training for the dungeons. Literally, no game mechanic can compare to the perfect difficulty level. The world and quests for casual gamers are fun and engaging. The world is so vast. Characters are unbelievably detailed and customizable. You could be a sexy girl, a tanky guy, a monster, cute, or anything you possibly want. So many roles. So many skills. I had to get a mouse with 12 buttons on the side as there are over 12 skills, so I had to make room instead of reaching for F8 or something and back in a millisecond. The endgame, though, is extreme. Very, very extreme. The dungeons on hard mode, you literally couldn't make a single error or the entire party would be wiped out. I played Priest, so as a healer I had to know the exact fraction of a second when and how to dodge, then also heal, buff, resurrect in addition to all of it. I played damage rolls too, but it's too hard to main more than one role due to the difficulty levels of the playstyle in late game. I miss it so much. But then again, I think I would never get anything else done in life if it did. Story 54. Deus Ex was one of the best gameplay experiences at the time. The graphics were good as well. However, the story was remarkable. When it was released, I did not realize how closely it reflected modern politics. Story 55. Not the best, but one of the games that truly evokes nostalgia. Steambot Chronicles. I sincerely wish they would remake it using today's technology. Story 56. Tetris when it comes to pure gameplay fun. The Witcher 3 when it comes to story and the amount of crying I had. Quake 3 Live when it comes to fun and skill aspects. Story 57. Personally, Shadow of the Colossus is a masterpiece. I strongly recommend people check it out. Story 58. Top 6. Pokemon. It does not matter which series you prefer. The Pokemon franchise as a whole is amazing. I grew up on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Poke Park, but I absolutely adore the main games and Legends so much. The series will always be a part of me, and Lucario will always be the best Pokemon. Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons. My mom bought me these games when I was a kid, and I was hooked. I liked managing a farm, a store, saving towns, all that. What I definitely loved, though, were the love interests. I was never so into it that I fell for the characters myself, but I loved feeling like Aphrodite and choosing who my character would fall in love with. I love the games and still play them on occasion because I love the stories and art styles, and it is just fun. It also makes me feel less lonely. My next life as a villainess, Pirates of the Disturbance, if my username did not give it away. I am an anime nerd through and through. On top of that, my next life as a villainess was what really got me into fantasy and isekai anime. So with Season 3 on hold and the movie not yet coming to Crunchyroll in English, I was overjoyed 2 Christmases ago to see that the Otome game I've been waiting for would be available on Amazon. I absolutely love how it gives a deeper look into the characters and gives the person playing the game what they want, to get Katarina hitched to our favorite male characters. To be honest, though, I kind of feel like the routes for the men written specifically for the game were written better than the men from the show. Makes me wish they were canon, but they are not. Genshin Impact. I started playing 5 years ago and I am honestly hooked by it. I have not spent a cent and have gotten most of the characters on my own. The story is also amazing, and I am so looking forward to Nod Cry coming out in a couple of months. Honkai Star Rail, made by the same people who made Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail is on a whole different level. It goes to places that Genshin has not and likely would not go to, and I just love it so much. The characters, the story, the world building, all of it. It also breaks your heart so much, seriously, especially in the current story. Genshin could and would never. Tears of Themis, another Otome game, also made by the same people who made Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I really like it. It makes me feel less lonely. Story 59. Tetris. Even my father learned how to play and enjoyed it a lot. The new generation would love it too. It is a timeless classic. Story 60. My favorite is definitely Age of Empires 2 and its expansions. However, since the question was what is the best, I would probably choose either The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2. The level of detail, depth, quality of the plot, and production values of both games seal the deal for me. Story 61. Stardew Valley. I spend a lot of hours playing, and I'm addicted. Story 62. Let's be honest, it is Minecraft. I know it is a basic answer, but that game never seems to get old. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.